Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I want to talk about diesel fuel additives, block heaters, battery maintainers, and anything else that's related to starting a piece of equipment in really cold weather. So 3 days ago, I got a message from someone on Facebook, said, we need some firewood. Is there any chance we could get some from you today? I said, sure thing. And they replied, okay, we're on our way. And I know they live about 10 minutes away. So I got my coat on, got my boots on, came out here and tried to start the tractor, and it would not start. Now, I've owned this tractor for 3.5 years, put 800 hours on it, and this is the very first time I ever turned the key and it didn't fire up immediately. And I thought, well, shoot, that's no big deal. I'll just load the firewood with the skid steer. And I come over here and it would not start. What in the heck? Now, I've got a third machine that was inside my heated shop, and I used it, no problem. But I posted a video just showing that neither one of these machines would start, and I talked about the fact that my fuel might be gelled. And there was a huge interest in this video, more than I normally get. Maybe about the normal amount on YouTube, but on Facebook, this video's got 60,000 views in 3 days, and there's like 300 or 400 comments on there. And I want to address a lot of the things said in those comments. Now, in the 3 days since that happened, I've been obsessively researching fuel additives and cold start issues, trying to learn as much as I can, because I think of this YouTube channel as an exchange of information between me and you as the viewers. You guys teach me things all the time, and this is another example of that. And I try to consolidate some of that information and put it into my future videos. So we're going to start with fuel additives, even though that may not have been the biggest issue. And in my last video, I talked about using Howe's fuel additive, and I've decided I will not be using it anymore. I bought this, and I've been buying this because I just walked into O'Reilly's, and I'm like, diesel fuel anti-gel. I'm thinking my first winter, I'm thinking I need something to keep my fuel from gelling. So I looked, and there's a bunch of bottles that all say the same thing. I'm like, what difference does it make? I just grabbed one. Well, now that I've had this issue and a lot of comments about this fuel additive and other fuel additives, I watched all the videos I could find, read all the websites, and Project Farm, I think, had the best video on this. He tested an huge lineup of different anti-gel diesel fuel additives, and Howe's did not perform very well. So as an anti-gel additive, it did average. It did okay at keeping your fuel from freezing. But if you read the bottle, it says fuel lubricator. And it says prevents deposits, removes water. So there are 4 claimed benefits to this. So the Project Farm video was amazing. I will put a link to that one in the description if you want to see a more detailed comparison of these different, options for an anti-gel. But he didn't just test how well it worked as an anti-gel. He also tested how well it lubricated and how well it prevented corrosion. And this Howe's was absolutely terrible in those other categories. So it was average as an anti-gel, but it actually performed worse than just diesel at lubricating. If you add this to your diesel, you will get more wear and tear on your engine than without it. Pretty crazy result, and that's enough to tell me I don't want to use it. So after all of his testing, there was 2 products that looked superior to the others. I've got one of them here. It's Stanidine Diesel Fuel Additive. This did just as well or better in the anti-gelling category, but it was an excellent lubricant and it stopped corrosion. So I'm definitely choosing that over the alternative. The other product that performed exceptionally well was Hot Shots Diesel Anti-Gel. Now, I went to 3 different parts stores in 2 different towns trying to find the 2 products. I found this product at only one of the 3 stores. The other product was not at any of those stores. So I'll put links to where you can get these better products on Amazon in the description of the video. A lot of people were telling me to use Diesel 911, which is made by Power Service, and I was really surprised by the results of that product in the Project Farm video test. It did not work at all. It was actually worse than straight diesel if you put it in before it freezes. Now, it's actually meant to be used after the fuel has gelled up, but I thought it would still work if you put it in before. It clearly did not in this test. As far as working after the test, it was okay, but not great. Watching all these videos about the best fuel additives led me down a rabbit hole where I spent hours and hours watching videos on diesel fuel additives for your truck or your other equipment when it's not cold weather. And for that, I think I'm going to start using Hot Shot's everyday diesel treatment. Hot Shot Secret EDT. Seems like a good option. Now there's varying opinions on everyday fuel treatment. There's a consensus that if it's cold, you need to be putting in some anti-gel. But when it's regular warm weather, different people have different opinions on these products, but I think I'm going to start using them because I have so much money invested in diesel engines, might as well try to protect it. So there's all the information I could gather on the fuel additives, but 99% of people who watched the videos said that they didn't think that the fuel was my problem, and I believe that those comments are accurate. I was kind of jumping the gun, I was rushed, I was trying to hurry up, and I didn't have to get these machines started. So I just threw my opinion out there and went on with my day. But everyone was saying that the engine wasn't really turning over enough. And the first time I tried it, it turned over a little more and didn't start. But when I tried it with the camera on, it didn't turn over at all. And so everyone said, well, it's clearly your battery. And that's at least 50% accurate. So as a follow-up, I waited 24 hours and we got to a high temperature of 30 degrees. I came back out here at 30 degrees. Both machines immediately started up with no problems. So I did not have a dead battery, but the cold cranking amps are lower as the temperatures get lower and the battery wasn't putting out as much juice as it normally would. But a lot of the comments were saying you need a new battery, and I'm not going to replace those batteries if they only have problems when the temperature's really low. So a solution that day would have been to have a battery maintainer or a battery charger plugged into these ahead of time. But my intention was that we only get about 2 days a year that are cold enough to have this issue, if that. It's not, we don't have those harsh winters. So normally if it's that cold, I just don't run the machines. I don't have to use them every day. But let's say we know it's going to be cold, it would have been really smart to have a charger on them ahead of time. Or in my case, because I have so many engines, I can't really see myself with 9 different batteries on the property having a maintainer on all of them. So I'm a big fan of these little jump starters. Most likely, if I had just taken this jump starter that's reasonably affordable and brought it out here to the tractor that first time, I could have just continued to crank it and maybe it would have eventually started. Now, to me, as a layman, I'm no mechanic, I'm no expert, I'm not even a farmer. But in my opinion, the second point that people were bringing up, that the oil is a lot thicker and it's a lot harder to turn the engine over and it requires more cranking amps when it's that cold, is the bigger issue to me. So while this may have gotten the tractor started, a better solution is to warm up your oil and warm up your engine before trying to start it. So I think this is a more relevant solution than the fuel additive, but an even better solution is a block heater. So I went to John Deere and I picked up this block heater for the skid steer, and I had to order one for the tractor that is supposed to be here tomorrow, although weather's been slowing some shipments down. I normally get everything within 24 hours from John Deere, but they have one in stock and the other one is on order. The block heater is probably the second best solution. The best solution is to park these in my shop. I have a lot of projects going on in there, and we were out of town when this cold weather hit, and I should have put my machines in there and I didn't do it. That's on me. But the block heater is probably the best option for someone who doesn't have a heated shop. Now, if I absolutely had to get this machine started and a jump starter wouldn't do it, I could have brought like a propane heater out here and put close to it, or some people said get like some hot coals and slide under it. You can heat the machine up. If I had to get these started, I could have, but I didn't need to. I did what I needed to do with the other machine. I moved on and waited for it to warm up. Now, I've covered most of what I have to say, and now I'm going to jump up on my soapbox, and I want to have a little conversation just about the way we talk to each other. And if you don't feel like a lecture, you can go ahead and click the video off now, but I got something to say, so I'm going to say it. If you come on my video when I can't get my tractor started and say, hey man, I bet it's the battery. Oh, cool, thanks for the comment. Those comments, when you come on and you say, Brock, you're wrong today. That's great. I'm wrong sometimes. I'm wrong a lot. 'Cause I'm just some guy, okay? Those comments don't bother me, but there is another type of comment that I've gotten 100 of about this that say, like, how can someone be this stupid to not know this? Or just truly insulting and taking it to another level where there's like 6 curse words in a sentence talking about the fact my tractor wouldn't start. I'm like, it's my tractor. How are you more upset about it than I am? And another one that wasn't quite as personal, but there's a whole bunch of comments that's like, why didn't you just plug your tractor in? Well, if you live up north, you probably feel like every piece of equipment comes with a block heater and a plug-in, and when it's cold, you just plug them in. If you live where I live, they don't sell the equipment with block heaters unless you go out of your way to ask for it. Because it doesn't get that cold, most of the time, guys like me don't get a block heater. We just don't run our machines when it's that cold. So, what I'm trying to say right now is, if I'm wrong, just tell me. But we don't have to make it so personal. Sorry for the little rant. I just thought with so many comments, I needed to address it. When the block heaters come in, I'll have a follow-up video where I install block heaters on both machines. I appreciate you guys for taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.